You two, parking lot after. Happy Monday, everyone. President Biden participated, as you know, in a 22-minute interview with George Stephanopoulos. But sadly, when Joe heard it was Stephanopoulos, he assumed it was this fella. Snuffleupagus. In a recent interview, Dr. Anthony Fauci said he has, quote, no doubt that Joe Biden is capable of serving as president. He says if Biden was really old and weak, he would have had him killed with COVID. True. According to a report, Biden's staff prepares giant note cards for his events with large print and photos, including instructions for finding a podium. Well, how big were these note cards? Well, here's one of them. Anyway, some Democrats have suggested holding a celebrity-led primary to replace Biden, featuring weekly forums hosted by big names like Oprah and Taylor Swift. Meanwhile, Biden suggested a few others, such as Elvis Presley, Betty White, and Bob Hope. They're all dead, Cat. Several Democrats in Congress are calling for Biden to step down, including Jerry Nadler. Jerry Nadler. Gotta hand it to Nadler. That takes a lot of balls, and he can't even see his. Joe Biden says he will drop out if God tells him to. Well, that seems pretty easy. God was on Fox and Friends earlier.
God, thanks for being here.
I've been trying to tell Joe to get his liver-spotted ass out of the White House for years. He's almost as embarrassing as you, Kilmeade. I would send you to hell, but you're already on Fox and Friends. Also, tell Ainsley to take it down a notch.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Classic. Wow. He won't do our show. Anyway, according to People magazine, actress Margot Robbie is pregnant with her first child. We were already able to get a sonogram of the baby. All right.
So unrelated.
Here we go. Remember Harvey Weinstein, the sex fiend? So awful, he stood out in an industry where pepper spray is a condiment. Remember what he first said when accused? Weinstein said that if you forgave him, his mission would be to send Donald Trump into retirement. He thought that would deflect us away from his depravity. It was a depravity we found out later all of Hollywood knew about, but ignored, like my script for Bridget Jones' Diarrhea. So either the Weinstein accusations were going to blow up, or Harvey was going to cover his ass with enough Trump hate to beat the rap. If it had been up to the media, he would have succeeded. But there were just too many victims, and they were talking loudly. Doesn't that sound exactly like what's happening now? Like that scary dog your whole neighborhood hated, the Biden dementia story has escaped the yard, barking and leaving a trail of poop behind it. And once again, Trump hatred is the weapon of mass distraction.
This election remains about one thing and one thing only: the threat of losing our democracy. None of this absolves the media and the Democratic establishment of their failures. But American politics right now is a big building on fire. We have two candidates. One stands for democracy and one doesn't. That's the beginning and the end of the realization that voters need to have. Biden's condition, whether it's tiredness or something else, is certainly not irrelevant, but it's almost irrelevant.
What a sanctimonious phony. Anyway, so you see the Weinstein strategy: use "we must beat Orange Hitler" to permit Joe's awfulness and senility. Will it work this time? Nope. Confidence in Joe from Scranton is fading like the spray tan on his pinched, empty face. And now, just like Hollywood covering for Harvey because they gained from it, we see that our media has been covering for Joe's sagging ass, and theirs too. While Joe disintegrated, those of us who called out Joe's incapacity were denigrated or ignored like Jesse Waters at a nude beach. Meanwhile, the Times, Washington Post, Axios, and all the others obsessed on a flag outside Justice Alito's house, or endlessly bombarded us with Russian collusion tales, lawfare, tales of Jan 6 insurrectionists. And what do all these tales have in common? Trump hate as distraction. To the left, it's a giant scandal vaccine. Just keep injecting Trump as Hitler into the narrative, and you can cure any bad publicity for the left. The side effect is you'll lose your hair. But suddenly, now a shocked media is running with this story full blast. After ignoring that Joe ran his 2020 campaign from his basement, that he regularly called a lid at 11 a.m., back in 2019, that we saw pictures of his note cards with pre-submitted questions and answers from reporters. Now, videos once dismissed as right-wing cheap fakes are shown as proof by the very same media outlets. But before the debates, they were as bogus as clips of Dana Perino being nice to orphans. True, our president hasn't been running this joint for the last 4 years, and the media still isn't interested in asking who has. It hasn't been Kamala. She reads to children, and their literacy scores drop. Crazy. The reason for this, I call it award porn. The media learned quickly that to win awards, do nothing but exposés on Trump. And they were handing out Pulitzers for Russiagate exposés like they were shots of Ozempic in the View's green room. But you never win awards for exposing Democrats. That would be like a vampire biting the neck of another vampire. Meanwhile, the biggest D.C. scandal of our lifetimes, our president is vegetable adjacent, has been ignored for years. Instead, we got heaping helpings of climate change, police malfeasance, diversity in the military, and gender. So why is the media now suddenly feeding on Joe's carcass like Nancy Pelosi on a hijacked bloodmobile? Because once the story escaped their electrified fence and ran free in the wild, it became a moneymaker. The great Joe Biden dementia scandal is suddenly getting the clicks from the general audience. Unlike the red soy meat the media usually feeds their left-wing base. So now they're just not covering their asses, they're covering their mortgages. So as our crack reporters try desperately to paint themselves as noble investigators, they're also trying to get us to believe that Democrats are heroic for turning on Joe. But you're not a hero when you're caught lying. That's why I had to give back all my BET awards. Suddenly, the media and the Dems are all truth tellers. Even Jerry Nadler's questioning Joe's fitness, and he looks like a parade float with a slow leak. Let's not forget the other hoaxes. Fake laptop, Russian collusion, fine people. The media didn't see them as hoaxes because they made them. Well, we did miss them. As the old saying goes, I'm the guy doing his job. You must be the other guys. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He puts the brother in Brooks Brothers. Host of Making Money on Fox Business, Charles Payne. As a former Miss Citrus, she's dedicated her life to fighting pulp. Host of the Morgan Ortega Show on SiriusXM, Morgan Ortega. Sorry, ladies, he's single. Comedian Jeff Dye. And she knows your dirty laundry because she steals from laundromats. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor, Cat Tip. Charles, I've yet to hear from you about this story because I never see you because we're working at different times. What is your take on how the media is now shifting into, I'm an investigative reporter, I'm an investigative reporter?
The barn opening door, the analogy made was fantastic because the debate was it. Mm-hmm. That was not a cheap fake. Everyone watched it and they're like, what the hell is going on? But the crazy thing is, I printed this up. Remember when they found that they did this big investigation, they found, well, Joe Biden probably committed a lot of crimes, but he's too feeble to stand trial. So Biden says, I'm an elderly man. I know what the hell I'm doing. I mean, God, that headline right there was it. Dude. What the? This is how many months ago? This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's been in plain sight. He's been saying crazy for so long, and we just got to look the other way. But my favorite is when he's around the brothers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Juneteenth celebration. And then this Sunday, he was at the black church. Every time he's around black people, it looks like he wants to call the police.
He used to.
He said, bring them. He said, bring a whole gang of paddy wagons, round them all up. We'll figure out the charges later. But the face, did you see him at the church?
Yes.
He was scared as hell. He said, I was raised in a black church, and the guy had to show him how to give the offering. Like, what? We're usually taking money, not giving it. I'm a Biden, damn it. So this whole thing has been so amazing to watch. I
It
love it.
really is. I wish I was only having half as much fun as you are during this, but I'm trying. So, Morgan, you are a national security expert, I believe. Is that correct?
I play one on TV.
Fantastic. What risk does Joe pose for Americans if he were not to resign in the next 6 months?
Well, and that, when this whole thing started, that's especially during the debate, the first few minutes, I was like, wait a minute. This guy shouldn't be president right now, much less running for re-election. And the media, the Democrats, they're so dishonest. They know that he can't go for 4 more years. They all know it. They just want to try to beat Trump and get him over the finish line and then install the vice president. So, I mean, I think what's scary about it is even if he dropped out today, if he remained president, that's still 7 or 8 months until January. A lot can happen then. And we've got new wars, new chaos in almost every theater. But I would remind everybody, we've known that this is going on with the media for a long time. Ben Rhodes, in the second term of the Obama administration, did a long interview with the New York Times where he called the media the blob and bragged about how the Obama team manipulated the Washington, D.C. press corps, and he had such contempt for them, he called them the blob. So this has been around for a long time.
I always thought blob was an affectionate term.
Depends on who you're
So blobby.
blobbing.
Jeff, I don't know what to ask you with that mustache.
I know, it's
I mean, how long have you been doing adult films?
for a long time in my own house, but take it to the next level now.
Yes,
Yeah.
those solo films.
Yeah,
we're
feel
doing.
good about it. I did this for you, baby. I did it for you.
So, I haven't talked to you either, and I'm like, I love hearing everybody's take on this because, for once, almost everybody agrees.
Right.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's also it feels a lot of these subjects when I'm on the show, it feels like I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years of the jokes and the pointing. Just now, everyone's going, maybe he is getting too old. Maybe that is a weird. And you feel like you're insane. You're like, we've said this.
Yeah.
It's like they listen to him, look at him. How many things do you need? And they go, what a trope. I can't believe you're going to say that.
Yes.
It's like, meanwhile, all their arguments are like, well, he's orange. Look at his hair. You're like, well, those are stupid tropes. Like, this one's not just a thing. It's like it's been happening for so long. It feels very strange.
No, it is. You would be shamed if you talked about his poor health, but they were the ones putting him out there.
Yeah.
Who's worse, the people going, that guy's sick, or the people saying, yeah, he's sick, but let's do it anyway?
Yeah.
Let's give Gramps the key to the car.
It's like who gave the gun to the baby at this point?
Yes,
you know?
exactly. You know, we don't condone that, by the way. Don't give guns to babies. Kat, what is your take on this lovely Monday evening?
Yeah, you know what's crazy is when he said he had oil cancer.
Yeah,
2 years ago.
that's true.
2 years ago, he said, I have oil cancer. And then his press corps came out and it was like, oh, he said, he's been, many Americans have been affected by cancer. Like, that's not what he said. We all heard it, which is why I agree it's crazy. But what's even crazier to me is the ones that are still holding out. Like, you played that clip. There was also Debbie Wasserman Schultz on
her.
CNN. And she was like, it's just frustrating me how people are dissecting every word he says. He's the president of the United States. And then she said, and then they're ignoring the fact that Trump is a felon. I'm like, well, that's a take.
Yeah.
The media's not covering that? What planet are you on?
Trump remains the most vetted president in history. We know everything, and we accepted it. He was challenged by Republican candidates.
But that's what I'm more interested by, though, is the ones that, like, because now it's been finally is okay 2 years after the oil cancer announcement to be like, this is kind of weird, guys. The ones that still don't want to. The ones that are like, what? But Trump, like, okay, but like, can't we? Why don't you want to weigh in on how weird this is? This was supposed to be a return to normal. Is this normal to you?
Yeah.
You know what I love, though, is that Biden wrote that letter this morning. It's like, and he took on the Democrats. Like, no one wanted to challenge me. I'm like, who will challenge Zod? One dude dropped out. Yeah, of course he dropped out because he was doing great. You guys were afraid. I mean, so he's taking, like, watching them go at each other now.
Biggest mistake.
It's amazing.
I think it's a big the letter was a big mistake, challenging the Democrat. Like, that's what they want, because they want him out. Republicans should want him in, right? I think.
There might be 5 or 6 commercials in that letter already. Like, if I'm in RNC, like, you know, I'm just filming commercials left and right. Yeah.
It's amazing, and we have more to come. She's worked with Joe for a while, but couldn't tell he was senile.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.